Hope you like cock jokes.
with puppets, but mixed in with like a somewhat basic noir movie. Noir with puppets and dick jokes. Hello again.
Hi. Then on to the review. So, Happytime Murders.
Oh boy.
I hope you like the same joke.
They repeated one joke a few times, and the joke was kind of the fact that they were repeating it too. So.
I mean, like, isn't the joke of the movie basically like, hey, here are puppets, but saying naughty things?
Yeah. Although I did find it's
there are
weird.
A couple,
it's
like,
weird.
kind of clever jokes.
It's a little inconsistent. Because what's interesting, I found myself like mildly enjoying the basic noir aspect of it. Because even though it was somewhat predictable as a mystery,
yeah, I was kind of surprised how much I pinned it down pretty quick.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like I've enjoyed noir films.
I like noir films too.
Yeah, it's a cool genre, and the way that they tried to basically make a noir movie, but with puppets, I can get that.
Like, it's not even a bad idea.
Yeah,
because like
it's not.
It's trying to like ape Roger Rabbit a bit.
I could see that. Yeah,
minus like Roger Rabbit's a lot smarter than this movie.
Yeah, but the interesting thing was. Like, it was clearly from the credit sequence that we saw, like, it was clearly a lot more fun to make the movie than to watch the movie.
Honestly, the credit sequence at the end's the best part of the fucking movie.
Yeah, it was a lot of... I want to watch the making of
because you get to see, like, how they did all this stuff, and you're like, oh, wow, they actually were puppeteers the entire time. I thought they CGI'd the legs and stuff, but
yeah, and you got to see where they were wearing green to, like get edited out and everything.
I was like, oh, okay, that stuff was really cool to watch.
That was fun.
The rest of the movie, not so much.
Yeah, I definitely had a better time than Michael in this one, but at the same time, I didn't really have that good of a time.
I mean, this wasn't as bad as the time we saw the Brothers Grimsby.
Your reactions were just...
Because that was a lot worse than this movie. I will say that much about this.
I would love to do just a reaction video. I know you've seen it, but I would love to do like a video where we just record ourselves watching the movie.
Oh, well, okay.
Or just our reactions to the movie.
If
and
we're gonna
just
do
get
that,
to see your fucking face.
If we're gonna do that, we're gonna do it for
watching
like
this guy
2 or 3 movies come out, and we're gonna do this in December because that gives me an excuse to bring up one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies.
Kirk
Cameron Saving Christmas. I'm making you watch it this year. You got out of it last year. I'm making you watch it this year. That, and I promised everyone, and Laura wants to see this too, of me watching Sherlock Gnomes again sober.
Oh no.
Because I watched it and I reviewed it, but I was wasted. I was so drunk that I got to the point I had to leave because I thought I was going to throw up.
I need to watch that review.
Oh, we are wasted.
Oh, I bet. No,
like, Laura was our Days of the Naked Driver. Like, the whole first half of that video is us taking shots.
Yeah, I've seen some reviews of it, and they are very, very unhappy.
But I told us, like, all right, I got to watch it sober so I know where to rank it on the worst list when the time comes for that.
What shocked me the most was just watching a review and having the person say, like, this is a sequel to Romeo and Juliet, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So anyway, back to...
But weirdly, in the same kind of spirit, I heard Sherlock Gnomes is like a decent basic Sherlock Holmes movie. If you just didn't have gnomes in it, it would be like an okay, like, Sherlock Holmes thing.
Not really, because the way they do Moriarty in that one is weird.
Yeah, no, I saw that. It was pretty bad.
Like, I was really drunk when I saw it, but I remember that clear as fucking
Did you have a moment where you were like, what?
There were a lot of moments of that.
Yeah. But anyway, Happytime Murders.
Yeah. So, no, like, this movie is... It's what the trailers promised. I'll give us that. It's like dick jokes, but with puppets. And here's the thing that like bothers me about the trailer and bothers me about the movie is that, here's the thing I saw some other critics actually likes movie that kind of talked about this. Like, it's not some deep meta narrative, contextual thing. It's like, no, it doesn't need to be.
It's not meant to be analyzed.
Like, no.
There's nothing.
Although they do have the weird racism angle going in there. Again, kind of like Roger Rabbit. Which was kind of weird because they sprinkle that throughout the entire movie.
They sprinkle the whole thing that puppets are treated as a second class, but at the same time, they also do some weirdly racist shit. Like the only cast member from the Happytime gang that has turned into like a straight up criminal in like, well, I guess Goofer shows up in a crack den, so fine.
Yeah.
But the one who turns into a criminal is like the only black puppet. So
yeah, that's a good point too.
Did you not notice that?
I was just trying to get through it, man.
Okay.
I was only half paying attention at that point.
Yeah, so that's a thing. But let's start with the main characters. Okay.
All right.
So we got Phil.
I actually kind of liked Phil.
I did.
Nope.
The car disagrees.
This is a shitty car.
I actually really was surprised by how straight they played Phil. Phil is the straight man in this movie. He goes around looking at everybody doing ridiculous shit, and his job is just to be like, like he's that guy.
Yeah.
And I do have a soft spot in my heart for movies like that, where there is that bit of self-awareness on a certain level. And Melissa McCarthy...
Anyway, go ahead.
We disagree on this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen Melissa McCarthy in more shitty movies than I have. Because I haven't seen Tammy, I haven't seen Identity Thief, I haven't seen The Boss. But, like, I think it's not fair to say that she plays the same character here as she does in every movie.
From what I've seen, she is.
She does have an acting style, but at the same time, like...
She's basically just playing the same character she did in The Heat, where she just... Even then, The Heat had better lines than this. I didn't even like The Heat.
No, I could see it as being The Heat. She might play, like, a punky cop.
But it's like, and even that, my problem with Melissa McCarthy, and granted, I will admit to some bias here, because I already can't stand Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah.
And like, I have not made that fact hidden, let's be clear.
Sure. But like, you can't say that this is the same character as, like, Ghostbusters.
In that the names of the characters are different.
No, like, the Ghostbuster character wasn't this much of an asshole. She's a straight-up dick in this movie.
Is she? And that's... Okay, I will give you that. To be fair.
Yeah, it's the basis of the character.
Now, I'm not saying Melissa McCarthy can act, because I've seen when she tries, she can do fine.
Yeah, no, she's not a bad actress.
But she also falls in that same role, same thing that Will Ferrell does, that Seth Rogen does, and all these modern, oddly enough, usually American comedic actors do, where they need
a paycheck.
They rest on their laurels, though, and that's like get to the point. You do dumb comedies. No, like no. Hear me out.
I don't think they rest on their laurels. I think they just need fucking paychecks, because it's not easy to fucking keep getting gigs. And if you slow down too much, you get typecast. You got to get the same.
But they're already typecast.
No, but that's my point. Like, they get typecast and they keep going on those roles, and every now and then they get a chance to not be. Like right now, you could say the same thing about the fucking Rock. The Rock has been in how many stupid ass action movies this year alone?
At least he's got charm.
Yes, I'll give you that, but he plays the same. He plays himself. He plays this. For fuck's sakes, in Skyscraper, he's supposed to be like some family businessman. He's 6'5" and built like a fucking brick house. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to the office. Like, fuck you. No. And like, but like, he's been in that. He's been in Rampage. He's been in fucking Jumanji. Like,
he's actually playing a different character in Jumanji. I will give him that.
Okay, no, Jumanji I heard decent things about in a weird way.
Right.
Especially Jack Black.
Jack Black was amazing. And I don't like Jack Black, but he was amazing in Jumanji.
And Jack Black has had times when he's able... Look, Jack Black has had a bunch of shitty roles where he plays the same fucking character. But he has also had very decent, like, roles where he has a chance to actually act. And so has Will Ferrell.
And like I said, Will Ferrell, but he's saying Will Ferrell, I've always seen that I always seen him do that. Now, granted, I know there's a couple of examples people always bring up that tell me to watch. I haven't got around to it. I'll see it eventually. They tell me the same thing about Adam Sandler Although if you want to talk about someone who's like resting on their laurels, let's talk about Adam Sandler. But not right now. That's a whole different. That's because we can fill up the whole hour talking Adam Sandler alone.
Sure.
But like Will Ferrell, like I find is good when he's doing voiceover work because I feel like he's trying a lot harder in those.
No, I think Will Ferrell is good when he's not just playing like a basic character. Because sometimes they put Will Ferrell into a role and they're like, just be Will Ferrell, and they're like, okay, fine, I'll be Will Ferrell. I'll collect the check. But then you have movies where he has to really like dig into a character, like Anchorman. No. I fucking hated Anchorman when I first saw it.
I still fucking hate it.
It grew on me.
It is not on me.
It grew on me because Will Ferrell's performance is he is so that character. The way he plays that buffoon is fantastic.
You and I are going to have to just agree to disagree.
No, it's iconic. We can agree to disagree, but I'm right. You don't have to like it, but you can't disagree that he really fully just throws himself into that.
No, I can.
No matter how bad it is.
I can disagree.
You don't think he gets into that character?
I think he was just doing it was improv shtick the entire fucking time.
Sure,
it was
but it was in character. You compare that to like Semi-Pro.
I haven't seen that one.
Okay, well, fucking or Old School. Like Old School, he's just playing the same basic fucking man-child. Like he could.
How is that different from Anchorman?
He could have been in The Hangover and been the same fucking character. Like that's. But Anchorman was this very specific.
Anchorman was just a bunch of people in the room just telling lines until nobody told them to shut up. That is what Anchorman is.
And being really blusterous in a very specific way.
Like, Anchorman was a bunch of people doing improv that don't know how to do good improv.
I mean, they kept the decent takes.
Did they, though?
Also fucking Steve Carell.
Steve Carell was the only saving grace in that movie.
No, well, what about fucking Paul Rudd? Paul Rudd is good. Okay,
I like Paul Rudd, but I didn't like him in Anchorman.
We're not going to argue about Anchorman, okay? Because but the thing is, but his delivery.
What Paul Rudd or Will Ferrell?
When he talks to his fucking dog, it's just great.
No, that was the case when someone just like cut like 5 lines into it.
Sure, but they did it. That's what happens with improv shtick. They fucked it up with Ghostbusters because
they don't know how to do good improv. That's not good improv.
That's my like. We could disagree on that, but there's just like different. It feels like they actually like tried different things in Anchorman and did a lot of takes. Like I feel like bad improv are things like Semi-Pro, which is okay, and then you have things like fucking Ghostbusters where they clearly just did a bunch of random like
it's
improv
line-orama bullshit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's a case where like nobody and Anchorman kind of popularized it, where they said like nobody ever tells them when to say cut.
I will give
and
you
they
that
break
to
the
a
rules
level.
of improv in the process.
Okay, fine, but coming back around, Melissa McCarthy. She has a few different characters she goes back to. Some of them are just like...
For me, and this is a personal thing, because I know Melissa McCarthy has her fans, and I know, and by the way, before I start seeing you guys in the hate comments about Anchorman, I know it has its fans. If you like it, good for you. Didn't work for me. I will say, that's where I'll leave it.
I mean, I fucking hate This Is the End.
So do I.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know a lot of people love that movie. I think Friends is an awful show. I fucking hate Seinfeld. Like, I
never liked Seinfeld either.
Yeah, I just, like, yeah, we can disagree on that. Fine. But
yeah, anyway, back to Melissa McCarthy, though.
Sure.
Like, problem is every role I've seen her in, and at least, like, the past 5 movies I've seen her in. Now, I know she's got another one coming out this year where she's actually allowed to act. So, that, like, I'm curious to see where that goes.
Oh, yeah, that looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, that one I was like, okay, that one I'll give it a shot. Cause she does look like she's actually trying pretty hard in that one. But like every time she just plays the over the top, obnoxious, unlikable.
Do you have a single video where I'm not drinking something?
I'm not looking through all that. I don't got that kind of fucking time.
I'm pretty sure I'm drinking something in every video you have, whether it's a smart water or something.
I thought you just brought that in just so you had something.
I was thirsty. I bought it before the movie.
True.
Okay.
Anyway, so
no, but I know she has a certain.
It's just this. It's the Melissa McCarthy stereotype. Now, there might be different variations of it. To be fair, but it's still the same template.
It's still her. She's not transformative. She's not an actress that like becomes different characters. Like,
and like, okay, and let's go back to Dwayne Johnson as an example though. Let's go with that again. If you're gonna make a template where you're gonna base most of your performances on, can you make it good?
What if it's just her?
Melissa McCarthy really just is an obnoxious, unlikable person.
But it's more that she's like an awkward person, just like a kind of.
That strikes you as awkward?
Yeah, no, she's definitely an awkward person. She understands what it's like to be an awkward person. You could tell. Like, that's half of her roles. Like, she just kind of bumbles around. And then the other half of the roles is her just being horribly overconfident. Like, and kind of an asshole.
Like, the awkward ones you can kind of get away with, but like
Ghostbusters.
I didn't like in Ghostbusters.
No, I'm not saying I liked her in Ghostbusters. I'm saying that's a good example of her kind of awkward normal person.
And even then, again, it's not really likable. It's not really funny.
It's not likable necessarily, but it has its place in certain movies.
Like, the only one I could think of where even kind of worked was Spy, but even then, I didn't really care for her in that movie.
Spy was pretty fucking good.
I liked it for Jason Statham.
Spy was pretty fucking good, just as an overall movie. I was surprised by how solid that movie was. That movie's easily a 7.5 or an 8.
I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
I'll meet you halfway on that one.
That's close enough, but still, it carried a pretty solid tone throughout.
Like, of all Paul Feig movies, and I'll admit I'm picky, that was the one I liked.
Yeah, Paul Feig's pretty hit and miss. I love him as a person, but...
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. I just love watching him talk. Like, he's such an expressive person, and he tends to take such an interesting sense of humor towards his conversations. But yeah, Melissa McCarthy in this role is pretty much herself playing someone who's just fed up. She's pretty exasperated in most of the scenes she's in, at least for the first half of the movie.
Now, again, to be fair, no matter how bad I didn't like her in this movie, nothing's ever going to come close to Tammy.
Yeah, no, that looked obnoxious.
Oh, that was insufferable.
But here's the thing. Like, I did have a moment where I thought she was at her best in this movie.
Was it the car scene?
No, it was the scene where she snorted the sugar.
Really?
Yeah.
That scene?
Because that was when she kind of broke the mold into something more extreme. She wasn't so much just keeping it on her level of, like, being herself as a character. She was more like, oh, I'm gonna go crazy now. Like...
But I've seen that before. It was insufferable then.
But where?
Tammy!
Oh, God. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
See, you missed... You lucked out.
Yeah, well... I just don't find it that bad.
I do, so maybe that just comes down to personal taste.
Maybe, yeah. But, yeah, I just found... Also, some of the puppet fight scene... That puppet fight scene, it wasn't great, but at the same time, I was like, this is so stupid.
Like, my thought was, I was like, have a point.
Like that, I was grinning. I was grinning because it was stupid.
For me, I was like, just, what is the fuck?
This is a stupid movie. Okay, let's get to the basic humor of this film.
Dick jokes?
But with puppets.
Yeah.
A lot of the gags.
Pretty much the joke.
A lot of the gags are just fucking like dick jokes with puppets.
And if that's your thing,
sex
then
jokes
cool.
with puppets. Like there's a moment early in the movie where a rabbit has his life threatened, and he pisses like glitter glue or something.
Something like that.
Some kind of purple glittery substance. And then someone gets shot in front of him, and he freaks out, and he poops a couple of, like, those little plastic eggs.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, but,
that's because he's a bunny.
Yeah.
Shit out Easter eggs.
No,
it?
I get that.
Get it?
They're like little capsule Easter eggs. Not painted Easter eggs. They crack. But,
yeah.
So that's that joke, because that's original and funny.
Like, I mean, there were a couple, like... Here's the thing, this is an issue going watching the trailer too, is like, I'm seeing a lot of jokes here, but I'm not really saying, like, the biggest issue I have with this movie is like, okay, if you're gonna do raunchy movie with puppets, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever, like, I don't think anything's, like, off the table. I don't think we can't make anything not funny if you do it right.
Yeah.
But it's more of the fact, like, I don't really see them, like, outside just changing the name of substances, there's not really a whole lot of jokes that take advantage of the concept.
It was,
like, instead of cocaine, it's sugar. Instead of
yeah, and like, that weirded me out.
And that's really about it as far as the jokes go. Like, if we just change the name, that means we're taking advantage of the concept, when really you're not.
Yeah.
You're just doing the exact same joke you do in another, like, lesser Melissa McCarthy movie, except now it's puppets.
It's the same problem as something like the Big Bang Theory.
Oh God!
Where the reference to the reference to the scientific theory is accurate within the moment, but the joke is not enhanced by understanding the scientific theory. The joke is, oh hey, they're saying something smart and out of the understanding of your average person. Like, that was the joke. The joke is you're not supposed to laugh with the people that are telling the joke. You're supposed to laugh at them. Yeah, no, the joke is not like a Futurama thing where, they're
Futurama had a bunch of brilliant jokes.
They had great jokes, because if you actually calculated out the formulas that were on the fucking chalkboard or whatever, that in and of itself was a higher level joke.
Or one of my favorite was one, they're at the horse races and they said, we're looking through the microscope now, or some kind of the Bison telescope now. It's and this character wins, and then the philosopher's no fair, you change the results by measuring it, which is an actual scientific theory. You have no idea if you didn't look it up.
There you go. So that just sounds like a bizarre thing, but it's an actual science joke. So when you're actually just saying, oh yeah, we got sugar instead of cocaine, and it's so weird, because I had to very quickly accept that consistency is not in this movie, because hey, if sugar's the drug, why are there people selling it in back alleys when you can just go into a store and get it?
Yeah.
There's a running joke on the fact that Melissa McCarthy has this sugar habit, and she just and there's one point where they go into an apartment and she's just laid out, passed out off of a sugar bender, and she's just got candy strewn everywhere, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Is this illegal? Would she get arrested if she was caught with all this? Is she just... is this some fat joke in disguise? What are you doing?
I will give it this. This is the first Melissa McCarthy joke I've seen in a long time where they did not make a fat joke.
Arguably.
Not overtly, I will say.
Sure. But yeah, that whole consistency with whether or not what sugar is within that world. There's one point where they go and there's that hyper concentrated sugar. Yeah, sure, fine. But that was just a weird concept to me.
Yeah, and there was a lot of that. They just change the names of shit. But I'm thinking if this was any other movie, you tell these exact same jokes, but just without the puppets.
Yeah.
So why have the puppets?
No, this felt like it would have been a funnier movie if they just made a kind of slightly spoofy noir movie, some kind of Naked Gun movie or something.
Yeah, you could have made that work. And honestly, the most clever joke in the movie, oddly enough, is when they talk about the murder weapon for Larry.
Yeah.
That was
okay, that was great.
That is a clever joke.
Also, the delivery of that line.
Yeah. And honestly, it would have been funnier if we didn't see how the puppet died. We just come back to the next day and he's just dead, and then the guy comes I found the murder weapon. It's just a Boston
dog.
Terrier. That's actually
and it's got the tag for evidence.
And that's actually that's a really funny joke.
And the delivery of that line was solid. It was just very earnest. I found it.
Yeah, and
that's good.
That's a really funny joke, and that's a unique, funny joke that you can that takes advantage of the concept. That was really it.
Yeah, those were few and far between. There's definitely. Oh God, can we? There's definitely jokes where they're just making fun of the fact that they have puppets and they're doing dirty things with them. There's one scene where you get to see Phil come everywhere.
Oh, the silly stream thing. That was in the trailer.
I didn't see that trailer, but I will say that could have been a really funny 2-second gag.
But they kept it going for what felt
that lasted for
5 solid minutes.
Half a minute to a minute of screen time of just back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Just that didn't need to be that long. The joke at that point is he's coming everywhere and it's silly string. And And I could tell that the guy who was doing it, because they showed in the credits, the guy who's spraying the silly stream is having a blast. Like, he thinks it's hilarious.
Like,
and it was funnier to watch him doing it.
Like, making this movie must have been so much fun.
Yeah, you can tell. And favorite character, Maya Rudolph.
Which one's Maya Rudolph?
The secretary, Bubbles.
Oh, yeah. I always forget her name. I feel bad because I really like that actress.
She's great. She is solidly reliable in pretty much everything I've seen her in. And even if the movie's not great, even if she's in it for fucking 20 seconds, she manages to make a solid impression and be a decent character. And I was really happy when, like, later in the movie, she got a little more screen time than just showing up as a secretary. And yeah, she plays the role well, and her outfits are ridiculous. She has shoulder pads out to here. You can't see because I'm wearing black, but like she has shoulder pads out to like here. It's absurd. It's great. She has, but she plays the character. She commits to it. She doesn't feel out of place in the worlds. Mm-hmm. She fits. She's really good for that.
No, I agree.
Even Joel McHale, who I usually like, is like...
Yeah, I usually like Joel McHale, too. He plays a great douchebag.
He does. But here it also felt like he was definitely extra hamming it up.
Yeah, a little bit. I guess he's playing the racist part of it, too.
Yeah, sure. And so he's hamming that up, but Maya Rudolph feels like she's playing an actual character.
That I will agree with.
However ridiculous the character is.
Yeah. I will agree on that, and like
I enjoyed her.
Like the actors that are actually playing characters are the ones I genuinely liked. Like Phil feels like an honest to God character.
Yeah, that was surprising. I did not expect to actually like the main character of this movie.
Yeah, right. Like I was like, oh god, Melissa McCarthy's doing Melissa McCarthy. That's just painful to watch.
And you're just gonna have this wisecracking like
puppet
seasoned puppet. Also, a lot of people have a New York accent for some.
Yeah, in L.A.
I guess that's part of the joke.
Is it? Or I can't tell if it's like deliberate or lazy.
It's like, hey, it's a noir movie, so we're gonna have New York accents, but it's gonna be in LA, but they're still gonna have it because it's noir. Hey, like.
And what time period does this take place into?
Now, I'm guessing. I don't know. They have cell phones that are smartphones.
Do they? I couldn't tell because I'm saying like at the same time I feel like a lot of this could be solved with like a couple Google searches.
I don't know, but let's see what else.
Or at least find out like, hey, is this chick that comes into my office? Is she an actual person? Maybe.
There is like. Again, you're not supposed to analyze it. You can't analyze this fucking movie, or else it falls apart in seconds.
Yeah, point taken.
It really is just loose concepts attached to each other for jokes. But I will say, there was a moment early in the movie where I did enjoy looking over at you, and because you just did not care for the joke.
I was not having any of this.
But I thought it was just... I get the dirty jokes idea, but the fact that they did do something creative with it. There is the scene where he walks into the porno shop.
Oh, the milking scene.
The milking. There is, what was it? The name of the porno that he's filming is called Sour Milk
2.
Sour Milk 2. And it is a cow on its back. I don't know if it's tied up or not, but it's on its back. And it's being milked by an octopus. And there's just milk squirting everywhere, and the cow's just going like, ah! And I saw that, and I'm like, that's just ridiculous. And I do love how straight Phil delivers the line. And the guy asks him, like, I didn't know when did you become so squeamish? And he's like, I'm not squeamish, I just don't want to see an 8-arm reach around. Like, that's at least somewhat creative.
Okay. I'll concede
Not
on
in
that
a
point.
great way, but it is a creative move on their part. Way more creative than the bunny shitting Easter eggs.
I mean, it was definitely another example of a joke that took more advantage of the concept than most of the jokes did.
Yes, it did. It did more with the concept than a lot of the jokes in the movie did.
Despite the fact that it personally, bring it back like 3 times.
I got a grin out of it. I chuckled at it, but I know you were having none of it.
I was having none of this.
But I just enjoyed the fact that I got to see something that ridiculous and weird. And the problem is that the rest of the movie doesn't really take advantage of that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that in the movie.
No.
Most of the jokes are about the fact that, like, there's fluff instead of blood. You have scenes that would be really gory in a normal movie, but it's just fluff because it's puppets.
But yeah, again, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. It's like these are exact same jokes you would tell in a different movie, except now it's puppets, so the names are changed.
No, but some of them aren't even jokes. Some of them are just the fact that, like, oh, this dude got his head blown off, but he's a puppet, so it's hilarious because fluff goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the jokes are just centered around, like, hey, it's this, but it's fluff. Like, I did think of Team America a couple times.
Except Team America was more clever than this.
No, Team America was brilliant, but that's my point. Like, there's that. You remember that scene early in Team America where the two characters, like the commando and the terrorist, face off and they're about to do battle, and they both stand there like, they're gonna do kung fu or whatever, and then you can tell that the joke is that the puppeteers just took the two controls and just went like this. And it's the two puppets going like this against each other for a good 20 seconds with action music and like intense shots and everything. That's genius. I fucking love that.
Or my favorite is that like after the first like action scene, they just go, "Don't worry, everyone, we stopped the terrorists," and like everything's blown up.
Yeah, that's a bit real of a joke.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of the movie. It's not there's some very real fucked up jokes in there.
Yeah, but it just goes to the you're right though. It's like it's not so much like a movie like this.
Of course, this was before like Syria, so
we do not need to talk about that on this show. This is not the show for that topic.
I'm just saying there were some jokes at Team America that are a little too real at this point in life. But
they fucking prophetic.
It was fucking prescient.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Team America was a clever fucking movie. They did a lot of really great things with the puppet concept in that.
Yeah, but again, going back to Roger Rabbit, they did a lot of advantage of
the cartoons shit. Like
they took a lot of advantage of that concept too.
Yeah.
So
there were a lot of gags that used the fact that they were cartoons.
It's more like, okay, the best way to put it is like Team America would not be the same without the puppets. I mean, without the puppetry.
No, exactly.
Like, Roger Rabbit would not be the same without the cartoons.
Yeah.
You can argue, you can make this exact same movie without the puppets.
Yeah. No, that's the thing.
And that's the problem.
There are a few gags that the puppets work for, but like the jokes, a lot of the jokes are just cheap. Like the scene in the strip club where you got the three rabbits like making jokes about carrots and like
can you engorge my Peter Rabbit? I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Something like that.
It's just
I don't know why
bad.
I came out Jewish.
I don't know. Racist.
Would that be? I'm not even like. Would that be, like
don't dig yourself deeper.
No,
you do it every time.
I do.
You're like, is that racist? I'm like, yes.
Now I'm
yes,
like, wait. I'm thinking like, wait, is there like a thing with Jewish people and rabbits? I don't know.
Jewish rabbits? I don't know.
I'm sure somebody go like, there is, you fucking asshole.
I don't know. I feel like the person making that argument would be a fucking asshole. And that sounds like a conversation that's going to get you in a lot of trouble.
Honestly, I'd be very
hands
curious.
Off with this shit. I'm hands off with this shit. Count me out at this point. But
I'm exploring Twitter now, so I'm sure somebody will say something.
So, but the real thing about it is just the fact that you have too many of the jokes are just centered around the fact that, oh, they're puppets, and
therefore anything we do with them is comedy.
Oh, we're gonna substitute this for this, like silly string for cum and sugar for coke, and I don't know, piss for glitter stuff. Like, there's just not a lot of.
There's no originality.
Yeah, it's just
for a movie
they
that
didn't
kind of has the original concept. Yeah,
they didn't really try. They could have done a lot more with the concept. They could have made a lot funnier jokes.
And that comes back to like some of the actors had problems with too. Is like they definitely contribute to the fact that not a whole lot of effort was put in here, except on the technical side, which is great. But it's so wasted.
On the technical side, this movie is actually really interesting. Like, if you're actually interested in puppetry and cool puppetry,
the puppetry here is brilliant.
I would wait till it comes out on Blu-ray or iTunes or whatever, and get it on something that you can see the extras on,
or just
and watch the making of.
Or just wait until someone puts it on YouTube.
Yeah, whatever. Just to encourage piracy on your channel. I'm sure that'll go well.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
But like, seriously, when it comes to how this movie was executed, it felt like they'd put a lot into making sure the puppets were good, but the script was just
generic. Like, it feels like
there's a lot of improv in there that just didn't stick.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? And this is gonna be a weird comparison.
Okay.
10 Cloverfield Lane. In that I'm willing to bet you $20 this was a script for an entirely different movie, and somebody bought it and said, hey, how can we slap this on there? Because that's how I'm about 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Is that what actually happened, or is that
that's what actually happened.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's then that there was originally supposed to be like a thriller. That's what the majority of the movie is. But then it's like, well, is there a way we could slap the Cloverfield label on this and like throw some alien shit at the end?
Yeah, well, I guess.
So like, I have no way of verifying any of this, but like that's kind of what it feels. What this movie feels like to me. It feels like it might have had life as a different script. And it's like, well, what if we threw in puppets and they just threw a bunch of puppet shit in there because maybe it wasn't working in its original form? I don't know.
Like someone had like a weak noir comedy film written and
pretty much
they just translated it into a puppet movie?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a flimsy theory.
It is, but I'm not saying
where you're coming from.
I'm not saying that's what they did. I'm saying that's what it feels like.
I get where you're coming from with that, but I have to say I don't entirely agree.
Fair enough.
But you know, it's not great. It's not really even good. But it's not awful.
Like, this probably won't pop on my top 10 worst list when that time comes around. Because I've seen, like, Slender Man was worse than this.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I've become fond of channels tearing movies apart.
Oh, and like, YouTube. You should watch that one. I just yell in my car for, like, 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
But no, like, actually, this year's been interesting between, like, the good movies and the bad movies. Because I think I've cried twice now.
Cried?
And for two entirely different reasons. Oh, dude, that Mr. Rogers documentary fucking tore me to shreds.
Yeah, I didn't go to see it just because I didn't want to feel that hard.
Like that was a case where like
not in the mood.
Like I had like I saw that one by myself and I reviewed it by myself, and I'm glad I did because that one got fucking personal. But then I cried again for different reasons when I saw Slender Man. I was like, oh my God.
You actually cried?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I cried on the inside.
I was about to say, if that got tears out of you, that's
for different reasons of, oh God, make it stop. Not in a good horror movie way.
Man, okay, so if I want to have a marathon of a trilogy of just oh, yes, I got it. Truth or Dare, Bye Bye Man, Slender Man. I'll just watch them all in a row and suffer greatly and laugh.
Wait, what was the first one?
Truth or Dare.
Oh my God, I forgot about that movie. I so forgot about it. Bye Bye Man's amazing for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Me and Grant left our asses off on that piece of shit.
No,
and Slender Man was just such a slog.
Dude, some of the... I saw enough stuff about it. I just... To know that what kind of movie it is and how stupid it is.
You know how the main villain whole thing is, I'm not touching you. I'm not kidding. Well, I am, but it's not far off.
Or how, or when characters are like, they make us hallucinate things. Wait, I have to go do this thing. It's not real. Bah!
Yeah, that case. It's like, you know what? If
the way the goth girl dies.
Yeah, if you fall for that, that's your own fucking fault.
Yeah. Yeah, so the thing is, like, maybe don't murder things.
Oh, my favorite part in that movie was the part where like the Bye Bye Man has like this weird demon dog that's horribly CGI'd.
Yeah.
But it's great because the bedroom has like his two tiny doors in the wall for like no fucking reason. And this little girl like finds a door and she opens it and it gets to a wide shot so you can see both doors in frame.
Yeah.
And as she pokes her head out, you can almost hear in your head go, whoop, as like the demon dog's head like comes out the other door, and then whoop, as it goes back.
I want to watch it. Like we gotta have.
Totally should.
The trying to watch the videos, like there are videos on other channels where like
Dude, if
they record some of their reactions.
Oh, we have a couple of those videos.
It.
We've had a couple of those videos too. I know how to edit them.
I haven't kept up. Yeah.
We did that for Camera Saver Christmas a couple years ago.
Okay.
Like, if you were more free, I'd be totally down to make that a regular thing.
I'd be down to come over and watch some shitty movie and just like do reactions to it.
I'd be down for that, man. You're just always so busy, dude.
I know, but I mean, if we plan it at least like a week or two ahead of time, it's fine.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that's how I do.
Cool. Look out for a new show.
All right, cool.
In our quest to expand.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be fun.
You can't think of anything else to talk about with this movie?
Not really.
Yeah, I think we covered the main points.
I can't really. That's the thing. Like, it's mostly forgettable.
Yeah, like
it's just.
It's a generic comedy with puppets.
It's like a 4.5.
That's being generous for me. Even for me, that's being a little generous.
Maybe 4.
I give it a solid 3.
Really?
Honestly, for me,
it's not that bad.
You got more out of it than I did, but not by much.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's a solid evaluation. Like, there were moments when I considered giving it a 6, but those are definitely the moments that elevated it to a 4 for me. So
fair enough.
So
for me, there was
not throughout.
To me, those moments didn't do enough for me to raise the rate in my head.
Yeah.
So
all right.
Yeah, well, I think it's it. I mean, like, there's not a whole lot else that's out this week unless people really want me to go see Axel for some reason. So I'm probably just gonna work on trailer videos for the rest of the week.
See what?
Axel.
Axel.
It's like the boy with robot dog movie.
Oh no.
Yeah, the fact that you don't know about it kind of tells you why we're probably not gonna go out of my way to go see it.
Oh no. Okay.
So, otherwise, look out for talks about probably Glass. I'm probably gonna do that one tomorrow.
Oh, I need to watch Unbreakable. I never watched Unbreakable.
I haven't either, actually.
You need to watch it to understand Glass.
I've seen Split.
Doesn't matter.
I'll watch it.
You can't watch chapter 1 and you can't watch chapter 2 and be like, I'll understand chapter 3 where they bring back all the stuff from chapter 1.
I've read enough about it that I know it.
Ugh. Amateur.
Oh, wah.
All right.
Good to see you, man.
I think we're good.
Yep.
All right, dude.
Make sure to come back later. Come back soon.
I will try.
All right. Meantime, thank you guys for watching. See you later.